Hi Swati, hello Quint.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome to my house.
You move into this house.
It's been like 4 years now. Let me sit.
Yes. So this is your first house in Bombay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, what you were doing before you became an actor.
I'm from Aurangabad,
Yes.
from Marathwada, and I moved to Pune for my graduation. So I did law from Symbiosis College. Started doing a part-time job as an advertising professional, like a client servicing.
Okay.
And then I got interested in that. I started making money. And then I started my own agency, and I worked for advertising for almost 7-8 years. And then one fine day I kind of felt that, I'm not growing anywhere. I was really interested in theatre, in dance. I kept everything away because I was working, I was making money. So I had forgotten that there is something like life. So I decided to quit advertising in my mid-20s, and I moved to Bombay. And I got into acting. So I started my theatre again. I started grown up in a Maharashtrian household where a father and mother tells you, like, whoever the guest comes, ki arey perform karke dikhao, guests are there, then you have to dance. And then I used to do mimicry. So I was basically an entertainer in the house. And I used to have fun because those guests used to give me like maybe like 5 rupees or 10 rupees, or they used to bring something like some gifts for me when I used to perform. So I used to like when people used to clap and laugh on my jokes. Like life puts you on a protocol where family says that all these dancing or acting and all these things are basically your extracurricular activities. So I also followed a protocol in my life, like, okay, I had to kind of stop doing all that. And then when I started working, I thought that, earning money is the best thing in the world.
Okay, so before we talk more about what you actually love, should we move towards that balcony a little bit and
come on
see what's
in.
going on there and the view from there? Let's see.
Yes. By the way, I would like to tell you about this.
Yes, please.
So this is actually, I got it from Assam when I was shooting for a film there in a small village. So this is, basically you can catch fish in this. And this is in the village that one old lady was carrying, and she was like, working on it. And I loved it because, this has that old structure and the beauty of it. So I told her, ki, can I'll pay you money, but I want this only, this rugged old stuff which is used and all. I bought a new one for her, and I paid her some 2 grand for this.
We sit in this lovely chair. I like this chair as well, under the beautiful super.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk some more about the beginning of your career. When you did start to, want to pursue acting and, follow your dreams, like you said, what were those days like?
It was tough because I come from no background. When you're new to this area, you have to audition. You have to meet people, you have to tell them that you exist. For me, I had no choice. So I was picking up whatever was coming on my way. No matter if it's a small role, like a 1-scene role to, 2 scenes, chose it. And I decided, like, okay, let me just be part of a set, just to understand more and more. I did tons of short films, understood and studied acting, understood and studied filmmaking. After doing like small little work, Angry Indian Goddesses came into my life. Yeah. And that kind of gave me a boost that, okay, there are good directors, there are interesting scripts, and there are stories for my kind of a person. And that's how my acting career, kind of the choosing right scripts, choosing right people, having your opinion and educating yourself about craft, about, the society, about politics, and everything has started for me.
When you look back and, think about those days when you started off, do you remember what maybe could have been, maybe the most challenging thing that you had to overcome as someone who didn't really know anyone in this industry?
It is scary. I feel the moment you have your opinion, it is a challenging thing. The moment you say no, and the moment you decide that this is how I want my career to go, it is a challenging thing. But I'll tell you what, it's the most beautiful and satisfying thing.
And you know what you want, and you know when you're being particular about that, choosing the things that you want. Is it sometimes difficult to
Very
get work?
difficult. Yeah, very difficult. You will lose a lot of work because you're choosing certain things. You have your principles about things. You will, lose a lot of money because if you don't want to be part of advertisement, or if you don't want to be part of collaborations and influencing spaces, so you lose a lot of things because you have questions. You feel like you ask questions like, why this is like this, certain things you can't just jump into and say that हाँ ठीक है मैं कर लेती हूँ, पैसे तो मिल रहे हैं. Everyone should know what they're doing.
Be mindful of the choices.
Yeah, be mindful of their choices.
It's a difficult path, but it's the one that maybe is met with the most amount of satisfaction.
Yeah, very true.
Some time back आपने बोला कि at least people are writing roles for people like me. आपको लगता है कि एक इंडस्ट्री में एक शिफ्ट आया है? Because एक टाइम था जब लोग बोलते थे कि एक्टर ऐसा ही दिखता है, एक्ट्रेस ऐसी ही दिखती है. Is changing in the industry, or you think there is still a lot of work there and people still cast people because of the way they look?
Yeah, it will take time. At the end of the day, there are people who are looking at it as a business industry too, and they're not wrong with it. We need to have a balance of both the worlds. Maybe even if you are working on certain things for a marketing perspective, then you have to bring in something which is a completely craft based, which is where you have a great talent on board and great artist on board, where we are telling a story about people, real people. They don't wear makeup when they get up, or they are not always like a zero figure. The change is there, a little slower, but I'm really hopeful because the newer talent, some producers are really making a difference. Do you want to come inside?
Yes, sure, we can do that. I love poster bears, like I told you even earlier. It's so lovely.
This is my favorite corner. This is where I kind of sit here, and I look at the window outside. And all my scripts, everything, all my planning, everything is done here. I wanted two things when I wanted a house in Bombay. I have to see sky and I have to see sunrise or sunset. No matter how big or small house is, I just want that, that the sky just gives me, that breathing space for me. And the sun or sunset or sunrise, whatever, just gives me so much strength.
A little bit earlier you mentioned that a lot of things are changing in the industry. It is slow, but it is happening. So if you could change some things about the industry as an actor, what would that be?
I think we need to bring more empathetic spaces because the hierarchy is still there. I think we really need to understand that no matter what, the safety, the security, and equality and empathy has to be on sets. Has to be on every areas actually, like be it in the society or be it in my workspaces.
Especially now when we're hearing so much that's going on around us, it's just so disturbing.
Films are a part of it. Of course, they do influence. Documentaries do talk about many things, but we have to work on ground. We cannot just keep on making films about it, but we cannot just keep on talking about it in a social media sector, but we actually have to change things. We have policies which are changed, we have rights which are changed, but what is happening is the things are not actually reaching to the right people. So I feel we have to keep our power greed, our politics, our internal conflicts aside and actually see where we are going. Then only things will change.
Here's hoping, we meet more empathetic people in the world, on the sets and everywhere around us, and we're surrounded just by those kind of people.
I know.
You've spent over 12 years in the industry, if I'm not mistaken now.
Yeah, kind of.
Right? What has been some of your learnings since the time you joined the industry?
See, industry is a very, complex Very funny space also. I feel industry has some really great people. To some people, you don't know how to even understand them. I feel there are some good people gave you strength. It's not necessary that you have to actually work with each other, but whenever you meet them, you feel that okay, they
Empowered.
have lived their life, and this is how I would like to be. I feel you should not be disheartened if there are rejections, if there is disrespect, if there is no space for you in their life. There are content where you have your space and you will get it. So patience is very important in this industry. I've learned that. Strength is very important in the industry, and you have to really hold on to yourself.
Very beautifully said, patience, your strength, and you have to hold on to who you are, to your identity, to what you want to do.
Yeah.
But कभी ऐसा लगता था कि when there is disrespect or there is somebody who's pulling you down, in those moments, did it ever feel यार ये industry मुश्किल है, or it's difficult to stick to this career?
The moment you stand up for yourself, every industry will be difficult. Immediately after Sacred Games, I was building a school in a village because I felt that was more necessary and important for me than, because I was getting work at that time, but I felt that me being in the village is more important than me being on a set which I may not like it. I don't have any regrets of leaving and losing those work. And I look back to the school I built, and I feel that's a precious thing I've done in my life.
We talk some more. Should we move back to your hall and maybe end the interview there?
Yes.
Yeah. So now, of course, we've spoken so much about your journey all the way here, your priorities in life. But we'd love to right now talk a bit about your film that's traveling, Gudgudi. Let's talk about that. Tell us a little bit about the film.
Virup Basu, the director of Gudgudi, is a very interesting director. He has a sense of empathy when he's telling a story. And he was narrating about the Gudgudi premise to me. I had goosebumps. Imagine a space where you actually have to, tell your daughter that be numb because you have to survive. Imagine, we have to tell our world also, like what's actually happening today, that, we may have that kind of a strength to stand up about something, but there are so many women, there are so many people, human beings from tier 2, tier 3 cities, or even in the urban societies also, must be telling their daughters to their vulnerable sons also, to that no, be numb, just don't say anything. I feel Gudgudi is something where the conversation should happen. That's the reason choosing right cinema is very important for me.
We all need to be a part of anything that we can ignite a conversation that will just help us improve the world and society we are living in. And I totally agree with you. Rajshri, when you make a film like this, which is based on something that's been very sensitive, when you're a part of a film like this, as a creative person, as an actor, as someone who wants to tell these important stories, how do you feel about this? आपको कभी डर लगता है कि हम ऐसी स्टोरी बताने जा रहे हैं, मान लो अब किसको बुरा लग जाए?
अभी 10 साल हो गए ऐसी कहानियां बन रही हैं. Be it Angry Indian Goddesses went to a lot of controversy at that time also. But it's such an important story, even Sexy Durga, which became S. Durga, but had to go through so much, the people who have not even seen the film felt that, oh God, I don't know what we are showing, but the people who saw the film, then they realize what actually we are trying to say. मैं जो हो रहा है समाज में, उसी को मैं दिखा रही हूँ. How I'm able to do it? Because I'm part of the society. Like I am there on ground working with the farmers to, working for the drought, to, floods, to, earthquake region, working for the shelter homes, to the, trafficked children, or working in the Kamathipura. When you look at Sexy Durga, I don't think so. When you watch it, then you know that, oh, ये तो मेरे साथ भी हुआ था. Angry Indian Goddesses Lakshmi There are so many women actually told me that ये तो मेरे साथ हुआ था. Neelam Krishnamurti, you know, the biopic it is. Like my own mother actually opened up and said that, you know, I wish I had that much of strength like Neelam Krishnamurti because she lost her first child due to medical negligence. My mother, my elder brother died because of that. So there are so many women get strength from these characters. And I feel, you know, it's my responsibility to show the mirror. Things are making them think about what is happening in the society, and I feel great about it.
Recently, there's been a lot of conversation about the entourage cost, about the actors. A lot of directors have said how budgets go overthrown because of these things. What is your opinion on this entire entourage cost debate that the producers and directors are weighing in on?
It depends upon, you know, where you are, what kind of a project you're part of. We have worked on independent films where, you know, there is absolutely no vanity. You're bringing your own clothes and you know, you're doing your own makeup, and you know, if you're changing, you may be changing in some roadside spaces or some, you know, just requesting someone from the house ke acha karne do. Worked on those kind of spaces to even like now you're having your own vanity to you're having your own spot. There is this thing called star system, what we have, you know, where you have an entourage, so you have your own PR team, where you're not just working on an art, creating art, but you're creating content for your social media, you're creating content for, you know, you're making news with all those things. You're a bigger star. You know, you have to have your team there. They're not just working on this, they have a 10 of other things. They are comfortable with that thing. Some people, I heard that they have like 5 vanity and ye bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna hai. I don't know what's their priorities. If their priorities like that, you know, and if it's helping with the craft, then it's their choice. You know, if it's part of their package with the producers are being allowed to do that, then it's their choice. No matter what happens here, your craft or your film should not suffer. You should not, you know, say that अच्छा आपने star को ही पूरा पैसा दे दिया तो अच्छा writer यार मतलब you know ठीक है, मतलब आपका भले ही 5 साल में payment clear होगा तो भी चलेगा types. When it comes to an empathy on yourself, then only you know that ki no, my writer is also at par, because there he is the one who's actually giving line, you know, giving content to the star, production houses and all. They have the power. They can actually say that okay, मैं अगर इसमें से you know 50 CR भी अगर कम कर दूँ एक big budget film में, मैं 5 अच्छी फिल्में बना सकता हूँ. I can support more independent films. So that calculation, for that you need really good producers.
Let's hope there is some balance restored. We hope you always find your tribe. You're always surrounded by people who are empathetic.
I know.
And you always tell stories that are true to who you are, really.
I really hope so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.